Hello everyone, welcome to Zap-TV. I'm Dan Elzer, your co-host. I want to get started right away and talk about how the system works. If this is your first time at Zap-TV, I just want you to know that you're going to be able to communicate with us in real time. If you'll get your phone out, and we have a text number for you to use to be able to interact with us throughout the show, 321-300-7759. If you get that into your phone, get it locked into your text app, and once you get it locked in there, do it right now, 321-300-7759, and just give us a little shout out. You know, send us a text, tell us who you are, where you are. We'd love to hear from you. We can say hi. And this show is being recorded, so it will be recorded and it will be back on this site within 48 hours. So you just come right back to the same site, and in the video box will be the recording. If you want to see it again, play it at a sales meeting, show it to another agent, you'll be able to do that. So to get running right into the program, I want to invite my co-host, Wayne Weaver and Zap Expert, to the show.
Hi,
good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, good to be here.
We got a pretty special show today.
Yeah, change it up a little bit.
Got to change it up a little bit. Those of you who've been to our Zap shows before, we're listening. In the field, Wayne, you and your team out there hear a lot of feedback. We get a lot of feedback through Zap-TV, where you guys are wanting a little more, and so I think we're going to hit hit that on the head today and make it happen. So before we get into that, got to tell me who you are. Shout out to hello.
That's awesome.
Before I love it. So before we get into some of that new content, the stuff we're going to talk to you about today. Hi, Wayne. Okay, now they're saying hi to you. Tell us who you are.
That's awesome.
Who?
Mark Berrier.
Mark. Buddy deciphered you.
Oh, cool.
Hi, good to see you, Mark. See, we got Elaine, Arkansas. Good to see you too. So before we get into the actual content, which I think you're really going to enjoy, Wayne has the expert update. There's some cool things that they've done in Emeryville.
Yeah, so we have a couple updates that we can just mention. Kind of actually perfect timing in...
Hang on, Alaska.
Nice.
Hey, Alaska. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I'm loving Alaska, so... Cool. Good to see you, Mark.
Brad,
in
North Dakota.
Got the country covered here. I love it.
Yep.
So yeah, a couple of the most recent updates. Actually good timing pertaining to sellers. Just want to make sure you guys know that there is a sell a home page as part of your website. So your website now can have actually 2 additional pages starting that customization piece. Buy a home, but there's a sell a home piece. That we'll get into a little bit more in depth at the end, show you where it is and show you what you can do with it. But,
that's amazing to have a specific website to drive listings.
For potential sellers.
Stay tuned. We got some really good stuff
to find to see how you work. So that'll be fun to talk about. Then the last piece, the update just happened last night. We can actually send listing alerts, listing activity alerts, emails to our sellers. So if I have a seller in my system and I have their listing attached to them, I can actually send them a weekly email with, hey, this is what happened with your home last week. Any listing appointments I put in the system would all get put into that email and sent to them as sort of just another way to contact them and give them updates on what's happening.
Okay, I mean, listen to what just happened there. I mean, I was a listing agent, 31 years in this business. I remember fearing that call from that seller sometimes going, what's going on? So what you're saying is, if I get my sellers in here, and if I set them up on the listing alert, what'd you call it? Listing
activity
activity email. It's going to compile what went on through Zap showings and stuff, and weekly send that out.
Correct.
Think about that, folks. I mean, your sellers, it's a digital assistant. If you do this new update and you're a listing agent like I was, your seller's going to get something every week without any effort. So that can reduce some of the burden on me making that call. And if I miss a call, it's not like they didn't have a contact and get mad at me. So that's I love that. I love that.
Yeah, so that's cool, and that was just an update. So.
Alita, shout out to Alita. Okay, so you have the website and you have the listing. Can we show them real quick?
Yeah,
what that
yeah.
is?
I mean, I'll just show you the general piece of it so that you guys know how to sort of attach a listing to a client, and then you go to toggle a switch, and that person will get updates. So if we, I'm going to just
go ahead and go live. Reese, Arkansas, howdy, in the building. Tim in Arkansas. Denise in Tampa Bay.
Nice.
Slated to grow to 3.1 million by year's end. Congratulations.
So I'm going to go live, buddy, and just show you guys. If I click on any one of my contacts and just bring this page up as soon as it finishes loading. You know what? So Dan is a potential seller. And if I just scroll down, so I'm going to hit this business tab. And as I scroll down through, this is all the business I have with him. I can get to, so I'm under Dan's profile, and I get to a listings section. And if he has, if I have a listing of his, I can actually if I just hit this add a listing, I will search the MLS 123 Main Street and attach his listing to his profile. And then I just toggle a switch, and from that point on, Dan will get that email that says, here's here's what happened last week with, with your listing within my system. So again, just another way for us to give them some sort of contact update on what's happening in the world with their house.
Fabulous.
Yep.
Great tool for a listing agent and for a buyer agent that takes a listing, but for people who are listing focused, that's an amazing tool.
Yes.
Okay, come on back to us. So that's our expert update. We want to get into today's theme, and today's theme is getting ready for a successful selling season. And that was on a little TV guide, informational form that went out to everybody. And that theme brings us to think of listings, correct?
Correct.
I mean, what better way to be ready for the season than have inventory for people to buy? And we're based here in Florida with the studio. Wayne's in New York. I keep telling him, don't worry, spring is coming.
Still
snowing. So we have this opportunity to go out there and really leverage the system to get listings and to position ourselves for that. So our first segment, which is Day in the Life of a Zap Agent, how should we be operating daily? We've been listening to people out there, and you've been hearing that there's some uncertainties. I mean, they know what they're supposed to be doing, and for instance, our very first one is converting opportunities to contacts. We've been telling people, you got to put your contacts in. All the contacts have to be in. It's kind of like gas in the car. If you don't have the contacts, it doesn't work.
Correct.
But we've been hearing some pushback, not pushback, but concerns, because they don't really know how to get people to want.
Yeah, it's more the getting over the fear of so I meet people, and how do I get them to give them, for me to get their information so I can put them in there without them saying, no, I don't want to be bothered and this and that. So getting contacts in here is what we're going to talk about. Not physically, but more the getting over the fear in getting contact information, and for folks that want to be in your system. So
when we deal with people and we want to make sure they want, you don't want to be that, I know, 31 years, guys, I know, we don't want to be that sales me person. We don't want to have people, want to resist us or reject us. So we want to make sure that we are doing this in a way that, is value added to people, right?
Yep.
So Wayne, he challenged me. I'm a technique skill guy. That's my wheelhouse. I've been involved with Zap with Wayne since the beginning, and my job has been to try to be that person that doesn't understand the system, so I can ask him a lot of questions, make him show you guys stuff. Well, he came to me and he said, you do technique. He goes, I want to throw a few curveballs at you. So if you've ever been in front of a room and had to role play, that's how I'm feeling right now, because he's given me some guidance, I guess, converting opportunity into contacts. So I told him, well, just hit me with, what are some of the God, I'm going brain dead. Some of the opportunities,
Yeah.
some of the categories, that's the word I was looking for. What are some of the categories that you would want me to try to work with you here and make Zap a value add instead of sounding like I'm just, shoving it down their throat? So pick some, let's see how I can do.
So I'll start with agent meets someone that I would consider a stranger. In the store, at an open house, I don't know them. How can I actually get them to want to give me their information, not just dribble some stuff down or, hey, I'll take your card type thing.
Okay, so let's say we're in a store. Let's put ourselves in a store. First and foremost, we know that many agents do not proudly wear their colors. They don't wear a name badge. They won't wear a C21 logoed shirt. So without doing that, I'm at a deficit. I could walk by 100 people next week that had a real estate need and miss every one of them because I'm not proud enough to wear my colors. So I always like to say this: treat wearing your career apparel like an open and closed sign if you are a retail shop. If I'm open, if I'm out there working, man, I'm logoed. If I'm not working, I'm plain. So I would have a name badge, logoed shirt, or something that shows that I'm a C21 professional real estate agent. I run into Wayne, we get engaged, we're talking to each other. So now my goal, if I understand what you're asking me, is to get where you want my app so I can start to track you in Zap. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me give this a whirl. So as we get talking, usually every time in my life, whenever real estate has come up, people ask, how's it going? And I can get into a good conversation about the market, how well things are going. They have a couple questions sometimes. So I'm going to turn it at the end of that conversation and say, Wayne, it really seems that you're really interested in the real estate market. And I got a question for you. Would it be any value to you to have 24/7 access to the marketplace so you would know, what's for sale, what's going on, what's sold? Is that something that might be of value to you?
It might be, but I'm not seriously looking, so I don't want to get involved with, with an agent or anything.
Well, if it didn't require you to talk to me, to go on Zillow or any of those websites that might stock you, I mean, if you just had opportunity to just at your leisure have full access to the marketplace, would that be something that could maybe put you in a position to kind of have a better feel of what the marketplace is about?
It might. I mean, it sounds better than thinking I'm going to get hounded. So yeah, I might. That'd be interesting.
Well, I'd be happy to provide that to you. I just would need a couple things, and this is where we have to be proactive. Now I have to say, to get into Zap, we've always known I need their name and their email address, but that isn't good enough because a true proactive agent also wants a phone number, and I can, if I understand correctly, I can text that app. Correct?
Yes. Yes.
So being able to text the app gives me this opportunity to request their number. So I would come back and say, all I need from you, Wayne, is your name, your full name, and an email address. And then if you can share your mobile phone number with me, I can text that app right to you, and you can start using it as soon as you get it.
Yeah.
Is that something we could do?
Sure.
So now I can.
You got me a text.
Got me a text?
That's easy.
You like text?
Yeah.
Now, guys, we're realistic. We've been in the business a long time. That will work maybe 50% of the time, and 50% of the time he'll say, no thanks, I don't need to. The problem is we sometimes get driven away from doing technique on the 50% that says no, and then miss out on the 50% that would say yes.
Yeah.
So that felt okay so far?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, one thing I want you to focus on is I didn't feature dump. I didn't say, hey,
well,
I have an app that could keep you
yeah.
informed. So whenever I was asking the questions, did that feel better than if you were dumped on?
Yeah, I would have been more defensive if he just came at me and said, here, I have this app, it'll show you houses, give me your information. Giving me the value add made it more comfortable for me.
I wish I could show you this. I don't know who just sent this. From Alaska. A group in Alaska, they just sent me a picture of logoed career apparel.
Someone's wearing their logo, so that's awesome.
I love it. Thank you.
Realty
that's awesome.
Solutions.
That's
cool.
awesome. Okay, so throw another curve at me. Let me see if I can give them a little more content to work with.
So a no-brainer for us to normally be in contact with, but sometimes we don't, past clients.
Oh, okay, past clients. First of all, if you look at the buyer-seller survey from the National Association of Realtors, your circle of influence, your past clients, is the #1 source of business. But also in that survey, it is the #1 failure of real estate agents. We hear, I don't have the time to stay in touch with them. But I read a story once from a real estate consumer that said, you know, I thought we were friends. You know, you called me constantly. You were there at my side. I really thought we had a relationship, and then you disappeared. And they went on to say, my insurance agent, my life insurance agent, contacts me every year to check on my well-being and if I have any needs in insurance. And then the person said this, I spent $2,000 with my agent, but I spent $300,000 with you and never heard from you again. They want to hear from us. But when I talk with agents, they always go, I just run out of things to come up with to sound cutesy or to make it okay to make that call. So I want to tell you, I just got real. I just decided I'm just going to be honest and real because I know they want to hear from us. So let me try with Wayne. Again, a little role play here. So you're my past client. So I'm going to call, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, Wayne?
Yeah.
Hey, this is Dan with C21. I'm just doing my job, following up. Wanted to know how things were going. That's what I always say. I'm just doing my job, following up, and want to know how things are going.
That's a I love it. That's a classic that I have to put my entire guard down and go, he's doing his job.
I'm doing my job, following up.
So
now you can say, hey, we're a little
like
busy right now, Dan. Say, no problem, I'll just reach out to you later and be gone. But what I found when I started doing that years and years ago, I stopped coming up with some cutesy saying. I just said, I'm doing my job, following up. How's it going? They were like, oh, Dan. And they were very friendly to me. So then a couple categories I hit. You know, how's the house? How's the family or yourself doing? And then I want them to take the app. Now, why? Because it's a past customer I sold a house to. They might be buying another property, or they might be looking at properties thinking about selling.
Yeah.
So I need them in Zap.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to use the same value proposition as the neighbor. Hey, you know, Wayne, it was great catching up with you. I just got a quick question. You know, have you ever, when you're driving around, see a house go up for sale or sell, have you ever had the desire to really like know what's going on and be able to check on things so you know kind of where you stand? Has that ever crossed your mind?
I usually check our neighborhood and our area if I see a sign.
If there was a way that you could do that with 24/7 without, you know, being bothered by anyone, myself, or having to go on one of those websites, is that something that might be of value to you?
Might be interested, yeah.
Well, I can provide you, we got this new app that gives you full access without having to come to anybody. And I'd love to be able to provide that for you. Now, my opportunity here is to update.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I can update content
contact
now.
information.
I can say, let me get that out to you. You know, it can keep you informed, put you in a position of strength. All I need to do is just make sure I got your contact information, verify the email address, I already got their name and address, verify the email address, and verify a mobile phone number so I can text them the app. Again,
yeah, that's cool.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I go back, I get them into the system, and we move on. What would be, I'll give you one more, and we'll go from there. I think someone else.
Mark. Oh, nice.
I see you. There's
group in Arkansas.
Our group in Arkansas. I got your picture, guys. Awesome. So, throw one more at me.
So the next one is the toughest one for agents to realize they should be reaching out to and making sure they know. Friends.
Friends.
So what do I do with my friend? Like, how do I get my friend to know and remember that I'm a real estate agent? So.
Before I do friends, Denise just said here, what if you're in Publix and one of the workers recognizes your badge, asks you to hunt, but then turns out reach out next year, give me a card. Okay, Denise, anytime somebody reaches out to me that has a need or is interested, they see and they're like, hey, I might be interested in buying something, my best technique advice is to close for an appointment on your turf, not at a house. Turf being your office, a professional place, mortgage, title, bank, or a Panera's or a Starbucks. The goal there is to get them in a setting that you have control where you can do that initial buyer appointment, ask them good questions for needs analysis, and then get them into the qualification stage. And if they balk at those things, you know they're not real, and you can use Zap to incubate them for future, get them the app. But if they move forward, you now had that initial appointment and you've put yourself, I always call it, in the position of the doctor. I'm the doctor, you're the patient. If we allow them to throw stuff at us, then we're always catering and we don't always know. So I hope that helps out a little bit.
Yeah, and I love the app for that as well. Like I'll be able to share my app with you and you just look on your own terms, you know, when you want, and you know, if you're going to be.
You're saying if they're not ready to.
Yeah, if you're going to be a year, just I'm not going to hound you. You know, like I mean, it's always you know, it's an upshoot for that, but just offering that app and then locking them in at that point, and try not to rely on them to call you down the road.
But today's about being proactive. Don't misunderstand what he said.
Yeah.
That's if they're not ready. But if you don't ask for the appointment, you could end up with a lot of people that have your card and have your app and lose them. That's why I always ask for that appointment. If they won't give me the appointment, I want to get them on my app. I want to get them so I can monitor them.
Yep,
You're
absolutely.
welcome. Okay, so friend. Now, friends are different because they know our background, they know about us, they kind of give us a hard time if we get too salesy with them. But the worst day in real estate is the day you walk up to a friend and they go, oh, and you go, what? And they go, oh man, I'm so sorry. What? I just bought a house.
Yeah.
If it's never happened to you, congratulations. It happened to me. And it's the worst day in real estate because I failed to stay in touch with a friend. They forgot about me and they bought from somebody else because they were right there in front of them when they needed them. And that's what Zap's going to help me with. So here's my approach for a friend. I'm not going to come at them direct because that sounds salesy. So I might do this. We get together and it never fails. My friends ask, how's business? And I always go, man, we're killing it. But you know what's super cool, Wayne? We got this new system, it's called Zap, and it has given me the opportunity to use an app, a cool app on your phone, so my clients can search for property. They can see what's going on. It puts them in a position of strength to know everything that's happening in their marketplace. If they drive down the road and a house goes up for sale, boom, that app's going to tell them what's going on. I am so psyched because my clients are loving it, and what I'm doing here is a takeaway close. I am not offering it to this guy. Now I got a 50% chance he's going to do what?
I'm going to ask for it. Like can I have it? I want to play. I'm not looking, but I'm going to play around with it. So you know, that's awesome for.
So there's one way.
Yeah.
Now, if I don't get him to ask, I can always end and go like it's oh shoot, man, would you be interested in that?
Yeah.
And Denise just said family too. Exactly.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Do the takeaway. Yeah. Share how cool the experience is. Make them ask for it, and if they don't, then ask them. Hey, would you be interested in it? Because now people come willingly to be a part of your Zap platform. So now, I get everybody in there. I've got my past clients. I hit 4 or 5 of them on purpose. I ran to 3 or 4 people. I hit some friends and family. I put them in. What am I forgetting to do?
Awesome to have them in the system, start tweaking them, share an app, share your website. The natural follow-up to that, no pun intended.
No pun intended.
Is the follow-up plan.
Follow-up plans. Now, we've talked about those guys, you know, over and over again in Zap-TV. We're going to get into it at the end. At the end, we're going to show you keystrokes, take you back to the follow-up plans. He's going to share the step-by-step with you. But if I would take just a little bit more time, I put my friend in, I put the acquaintance that I ran into in. If I just took a little more time to assign a plan or create a plan, based on the person that I have, you know, it might be every other month for a past client. It might be once a month for someone I think might be getting more hot to go. Mm-hmm. But I can decide on those touch points. Some will be automatic. Some will come to me and say, task, you need to make a touch to Wayne. It is my digital assistant where I will never be that agent that forgot to follow up. So, now, second area, because we can do role play all day long. Second area that you wanted to talk about was leveraging watched homes. Share with them again, what is the power of the program, of the opportunity of watched homes?
Very simple. I have the ability to, anybody in my database, pick one person, add their home to a watched home. They will get an email from me once a week with what's happening in the market around their house, directly from the MLS.
Okay, now, so that's intel then.
Yeah.
So that's great intel for people to get once a week, updated, be the smartest person in the room when it comes to the marketplace around them. Okay, so throw me the curveballs. I know this one's going to be.
So, I mean, this is a no-brainer.
This is about listings, I know.
Yeah,
so
to use Watched Home to get a listing, the no-brainer one, and they're happening more is a FSBO, a for sale by owner. How do I get them engaged because they don't have any interest in listening to me when I knock on the door? Okay,
FSBOs. Now we know FSBOs don't want to list, so I'm going to play the hardest part of it. You know, I've gotten the opportunity to walk in the door. I like to use an assistance approach where I'll say, hey, can I come in and help you, train you, so you know what you're doing, build that rapport, and wait till they get to that moment in time where they're ready to list. I come see Wayne, he's that level 1, I don't need you, I ain't listing, and he's really pushing me back. So I want to add value here, and I want to be able to monitor him. So okay, here we go. So Wayne, I understand you're selling it yourself, and I respect that you're doing that. That's what I told you on the phone. I'm not here to take your listing. I'm here to help you. But let me ask you a question. How well do you think you're positioned with the intel of the marketplace? Since you're representing yourself, you really need to know what the competition's doing, what the sales are doing. How well do you feel that you're embedded where you know everything that's happening in your marketplace?
I think I do pretty good doing the research.
Is it time consuming at times?
Oh, yes.
And
yeah, I mean,
you think you're 100% with what's happening around you?
I'm probably missing some things, I suppose.
Now let me stop. Notice it was questions. Is it time consuming? Time, pain, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Are you 100%? No. Well, would it be of any value to get a weekly market update to know exactly what the competition's doing, exactly what the sales are, so you can make sure you keep yourself relevant in the marketplace? Would that have any value to you?
It would, but I don't want to list or anything, so.
Perfect response. That's what they're going to say, hey, I don't want to list.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come back and say, well, if it had nothing to do with listing, if it was completely independent, for you to have that intel, would it be something you'd like?
It'd probably be helpful.
Now, I would have to work on him some more to get a yes out of him. But I would keep working him. Now, this is me, guys. I've been doing this a long time. I would do a takeaway close. This is what I would do. If he was like, well, yeah, it'd be helpful. I'd go, so then you wouldn't want to have that then, would you? That's a takeaway. Then you wouldn't want to have that then, would you?
Well, then I'd be like, well, I didn't say that.
No, I didn't say that.
Sorry.
Okay. So I'm going to get him to say yes.
Yeah.
And when he says yes, then I get to say, all I need is your email. I got your name and address. And I need a mobile number so I can text you and get you set up.
Yeah.
I get it. I come back. I put it in. Now, here's the cool thing. I'm going to put these contacts in we keep talking about because I made a promise. So instead of a piece of paper sitting on your desk or a file from a past client sitting there or a business card and you forget to put them into Zap and then you find out they buy or sell, I've made a promise. So I am now committed to come back. All I need is a little extra time to assign that follow-up plan. And if it's a FSBO, I'm not going to do an every other month thing. I might do a twice a week follow-up plan that I can always assign to a FSBO. Hey, did you get the information? Do you know how to decipher the information? Do you have any other questions on what's happening in the marketplace? I'm going to hit them with that, where he's going to know that I've done what I've promised, and now I can watch his score on what's going on with him.
Yep, that's good.
Hit me another one.
So my next natural one would be, we watch the hot sheet. How about an expired?
Expireds. Okay, we know expireds. They're mean people, man. The motivated ones get mad at us. I don't want to list anymore. I'm going to take some time. You guys, I had a bad experience. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Been there. So again, let's take the worst case scenario. I get the appointment, but he blows me off. He's like, Dan, you guys are all the same. I need to take some time, and let's say I get that. So, watched homes is intelligence for him. So here's my approach. Wayne, I respect that, and you can take all the time that you need, but I got just a quick question for you. Have you ever sat here and wondered what really went wrong? Why didn't the house sell the first time?
Yeah, we think about it every day.
See, I asked that because I have this cool new system that without no responsibility to me, I'm not listing.
Wait, I should be like this,
yeah,
right?
Yep, fold those arms. There'll be no responsibility to me, but if there was a way that weekly you had an update of the market around you that gave you the competition, what people are asking, the solds, what people got, would that be intelligence that might help you in positioning yourself for the next time you want to sell?
It certainly would be helpful, I would think.
If I could provide that to you with no strings attached, would you like to have that?
Yeah, I'm not ready, but...
It has nothing to do with listing. It's just intel for you to be able to use at your
I'd be
discretion.
interested in seeing what you could send me.
Okay, great. And again, I'm going to do a value add for that person to be able to go, yeah, I'd like that as long as there's no strings attached. Because remember, we're watching them. And I'm not a fan of using Zap till they're at boil over point. I'm a fan at using Zap, which we're going to get into the score. I'm a fan of using Zap to give me the perfect reason to make the next touch.
Yep.
I see the activity. When I call Wayne this time, I know he's in the mindset of needing a pro. I don't have to say, I've been stalking you, I know what you're doing. No, I just have to say, hey, just do my job following up, Wayne. Is there any way I can be of assistance to you? And all of a sudden he goes, you know what, Dan? Yeah, we started really looking at the market, the stuff you've been sending, and we're ready to, and boom, I'm the person there for that listing.
Yeah, that's good.
One more. We got time for one more.
Well, we talked about them earlier, but I'm going to say past clients.
Okay, wait a minute. Sorry, Denise beat you out here. Denise goes, briefly touch on luxury expireds, stuck on the market greater than 380 days, Odessa, Florida. Okay, when I'm dealing with a luxury market, especially I'm in Florida, we're in Central Florida. There's different parts in Florida now where our days on market are climbing on the luxury end. We kind of started the boom, and I think we're starting to see some softness. I like to be consultative to these people. And I think between the app and the watched homes, you might be able to go in and not be, let's get this thing back on the market. Let's find out what's happening out there. Because when it comes to the luxury market, Denise, if no one is moving in the price range, that means we don't have buyers right now for the price range. If we have movement in your price range, that means something was done wrong with your property. Could we take a step back, use watched homes, and kind of look at, is there movement in your price point? And from there, I can help you figure out what went wrong. Wow. That's what I would do in that situation. Let me know if that helps you out at all. So back to, what did you hit me with?
Past clients.
Past clients. We already did them once, but I know now you want to hit with watched homes.
Yeah, using watched homes for...
Okay, past clients, past clients. Oh, okay. Same thing. I call and I go, hey, Wayne's great, I'm doing my job following up with you. How's things? How's wife, family, boom, 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 house. And then I might go this way. Since he made an investment in a property, we care when we own property that is there a increase in value, decrease in value, what's happening to my investment? Yep. So I'm going to take that angle. I would go, hey Wayne, I'm just curious, would there be any value to you to be able to keep an eye on where your market's actually going in valuation to see, are you gaining value in your property? Is it stagnant? Is there losing value? Would having that intelligence be of any value to you?
Yeah, I kind of keep an eye on the market in general, so yeah, absolutely.
Well, I have this new program that I can actually create a scenario where you will receive a weekly update of what's going on in the marketplace around your house, so you'll have that snapshot every week of where is the market going. Is that something I could get you signed up on?
That's interesting. Yeah, it might be fun to watch.
Okay. Again, I just got to update, and I've got to get him in, and then I've got to follow through. Run out of time. You can't hit me anymore. So here's my point, guys. I jumped in. Wayne asked me, because I do technique, to jump in at this time of Zap-TV because people were saying, I want to put contacts in, but I feel weird. How do I get them to want to be a part of it? I hope that helped you a little bit to get people to want to be in there and start using proactive techniques instead of passive techniques to really start to charge yourself up for the selling season. So with that,
if you have their data, put them in. What we're doing is helping you get make sure they're comfortable.
Yeah, I can't ever get him off that. If you got stuff sitting on your desk and it's not in there, it's time to get people. And I believe last show we talked about hiring a kid.
Yeah.
Hiring a kid
ways
just
to get a lot of information in there cheaper. So.
Okay, we got to get moving. Website. We told him we would talk about that. Start with the Sell a Home website. Give me the differentiators. What can I do within that differentiates me from my other web presence?
Yeah, we'll just spend a couple minutes on this. It's not that hard, but I can actually change the cover photo and the content, starting with as little as the About Me, the content section, and make that all relative to a seller. So everything I talk about in my essentially the About Me for the Sell a Home page can be all about what I do for sellers, how I, if I'm going for a listing, this is what I do, my commitment to my sellers. It can be all geared towards that.
So everything so my About Me can change, is what you're saying.
Yes.
I have the ability to have multiple About Me's. One can be, this is what I do to get homes sold in today's market, luxury market. I can really tailor my page to what I am as a listing.
Yeah, just know that if a consumer finds that or I send them there, it's because they're a seller or a potential seller. So give them just that information. That's all they're going to want there.
Okay, so I can be specific about whenever, like if I send an email, in my tagline, I'll have my seller app because I'm talking to someone I believe could be a listing.
Selling a home, question mark, and the link goes
Boom.
to your sell a home
Bingo.
page.
Okay, so what else can I use to drive maybe some call to action within that page?
So the next big piece we can do on that sell a home page is our blogs that relate to selling a home can automatically populate onto that. So,
okay, so blogs.
That's my favorite.
Me too. I mean, being a listing agent, when you just said that, if I know that I have a customer-facing web page that is specific to my winning differences of being a listing agent, and then I can blog on that, think about being direct in blogging if you want to really chase listings. Tell me what you think of this. I would go research. What are the 3 best things a homeowner can do to increase value in their property if they're thinking of selling?
Yeah.
These types of things are out there. The articles are already written. They're somewhere, and you can just take it and quote it. Don't plagiarize it. Quote it and say, so and so said, or in this article they said. Another one I would think about doing is give my tips on pre-listing preparation. If I'm considering selling my home, these are some of the things that I would do. I might also get into pitfalls, things that people wish they would have done after they're on the market.
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of things that you can do to gear it all, and a blog keeps, is a running blog. So like every article would be there. I just scroll down a few of them and see all the articles that you posted about, that potentially could help me. So
I got one more because we want a call to action, right? Watched homes is huge.
Yeah.
What if you blogged about, in my experience working with clients through the X years, the ones that are fully informed on the marketplace are the ones that make the best decisions. You should put yourself in the position to know what's happening in your marketplace, blah, 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 listings sold, trends. If you're not getting that information, please reach out. I'd be happy to get you on board where you're receiving a weekly market update, and that's Watched Homes.
Yeah.
So I could actually use one of my blogs to have a call to action for someone to reach out and say, yes, I want to be that informed consumer. What do you have for me? And then boom, that person's a potential listing right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Denise asked about commercial.
I mean, you could have,
But we don't have access to the commercial databases because most commercial people don't do MLS.
Yeah. I mean, you could talk that you work commercial. I mean, it could be in your verbiage. So.
Oh, in your seller-facing
page.
Yes, equestrian, yachting, yes. I totally agree, Denise. You could very much customize these facing pages, whether it's buyer or seller, to speak to the luxury market, the specific market, equestrian, yachts. I'm a boating guy myself. Commercial properties, leasing management. I mean, I think you could definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
the about me, the blogs, everything could speak to those things.
Yeah, blogs would be a great way to tweak, like that in there without having too much verbiage about what you work, but a blog about, working, or an equestrian property would naturally drive me to you as an equestrian type agent that could help me. So
can we go live real quick? Let's show them where those are and just kind of take them through those pages.
Yeah, absolutely. So very simple. If you click your name in the upper right-hand corner and just click on My Website. So if I click on My Website, this is the page that we've sent you to, many times and said, you have to do this page. It's your personal website. When I scroll down and just stop right at content, and you'll see the About Me that we talk about all the time. Now you see right next to that, there's a Buy a Home and a Sell a Home. And these are 2 separate pages that you can customize for you and Sense folks. So you'll see that you can add change the picture, whatever content you put in here, and then, this is how you sell a home. The verbiage about, you work luxury, the commercial, just what you do for your sellers. And then you'll see the next piece is where the blogs come in. So if I talk about a blog in my blog page, and I just say this is a seller blog, then that will automatically post on this Sell a Home page. So when I'm doing a blog, I tell the system, this is more for buyers. This is more for a seller. And when I say seller, it automatically publishes on this page.
That's awesome.
This is how I start different, this is where I send someone that's a potential seller. All of the people we've talked to prior are potential sellers, even a past client, the for sale by owners. Hey, just go to my website, check it out. That's what I do for my folks.
Bingo. And like you said, thinking of selling or want more information on the market, in your tagline, then you have the link to your seller website.
Absolutely.
Cool. So that means you have to be thinking, guys. You kind of have two signature lines. Is this potential person a buyer? Is this potential person a seller? But it gives you that ability to really customize into what you're going to do.
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's some really good content, folks, I think that you can utilize. Now, we're going to move into the mobile app. And like we said, we wanted to show you how to get that, how to send that app to somebody.
Yep.
But also, you say it over and over again, the mobile app is the greatest way to be effective with time because you can also watch those scores with that downtime you have.
Yes. Yeah, so I'll go live on my phone and just show you a couple things quick. Again, just as a reminder, when I talk about the Zap app, it's the light blue one that's kind of in the middle to the right next to the right of the Century 21. When I click that, this actually brings up my entire database, all my information, everything that's in the desktop. And one of the first things I want to do is, hey, I just added a person, and I'm just going to click on contacts, and I'll just grab the first one. So I'm just going to grab Dan, and however he's in here, I've added him, but he's in here, and I want to share my consumer-facing Century 21, I want to buy a house app. That's what I want to share with him, and that's the reason I've got him in, for the reasons we've talked about. You'll see in the upper right-hand corner, there's 3 dots. If I just click those 3 dots, this menu comes up, and there are 2 ways that I can share my mobile app with Dan. I can send an email or a text. That simple. And I just shared my mobile app with him, my consumer-facing but personally branded mobile app, so he can just check out the market.
Cool. Now, you're sitting around, you're between calls, you're having lunch, and you want to use your time effectively. How can we use this to really watch all these people now that we've got it?
Yeah, love 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, doctor's office, waiting for the kids, whatever. Bring up the app. This is the home screen. I'm going to hit that contacts button on the bottom, the second one over, and this will list my entire database, 100, 200, 1,000 people. It'll list them all in order based on Zap score. So all I have to do is just scroll down here and go, oh gee, why is Roger very high? Why is Cheryl very high? And if I just click on any one of them, I'll just click on Roger real quick. I can just simply real quick scroll down his page and just see if he's done anything that warrants a contact from me. Like, why is he very high? Well, because look at all the houses he's looking at, and look where he's looking.
Wow, look at that. You see everything about that person.
Yep, where he's looking
homes.
for houses. So again, whether this is a buyer, which obviously works, but for sellers, when they show up, or the for sale by owner, man, they're spending more time opening up my emails. They're spending more time looking at houses. I should probably reach out again and say hello.
Yep, exactly.
So that's an awesome way to just hit in contacts and just look at the Zap scores.
Well, cool. Okay, come on back to us. I want to have Wayne do one more thing that I promised. You've got just about a couple minutes here to pull this off. Let's go live again. Just show them contact again.
Okay.
And where the follow-up plans are, just to make
perfect.
sure everybody knows where.
Yeah, so when you're talking about adding contacts, you can do it on the mobile app, very simple. But when I add them in the desktop, if I'm just on the laptop tablet, I'm going to hit the plus add, and then you'll see the first one is new contact, and then you'll see to the right, I can either add an individual contact, just the one-offs, or I can do a bulk import. And it's that simple to get people in the system. And we talk about follow-up plans. We don't have time, obviously. I'm going to show you where they are. But if I hit this Manage button on the left-hand side in the menu, and then just click Follow-up Plan Library. So these are the follow-up plans that exist. I can look at these. I can tweak them. I can go down through and go, hey, I like this one. This is the one I'm going to use for my past clients. I can make my own. So what I want to do is get these follow-up plans in place. And then once I do, it takes me 30 seconds to assign one. And I'm just going to show you, because we didn't spend a lot of time live, but just know this support button right here on this left-hand side, when I hit that support button, there is an 800 number if I have kind of an immediate question, but I love this support center, so I clicked on the button at the very top. And this brings me to, I love the community, I love the video library. I can just do a search here for, follow-up plans. And, and everything I have, that I would want as part of a follow-up plan is going to be right here. Tell me how to do it, tell me, there's a video on how to do it. So it's just a way for us to do the follow plans, the watched homes, add a contact, do a bulk import, and be up to date.
How do we set up a watched home?
Do we have, yeah.
Yeah, we got a minute.
All right, so I'm going to show you quick. So I am actually going to bring up, let me grab a contact here. I assume Dan will be at the top. So Dan is a potential seller. So when I click on Dan, and then I'm going to hit this More button right here. So when I hit the More button and hit Sign In as Contact, so this is actually the same path I will do to set up a listing alert. But right now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in one address. So I'm just going to type in this address right here. And you know what? I hope this one works as far as being in the coverage area. No. So let me, I got one here. Let me do this address right here. So when I do this address, and all I'm saying is Dan, who is my contact I'm in, lives at 67 Field. This is his house. You'll see off market, so he's not for sale yet. If I scroll down through and just simply click this gold Get Home Value Updates, if I click that, it will go to watching, and Dan will get an email from me once a week on what happens in his market.
Bingo.
That's
pretty simple.
There's and if I went through that quick, hit that support button, watch homes. There'll be a 2-minute video on how to do that to refresh. Okay,
guys. Well, and Fran, I want to thank you. We have some of you reaching out, say you enjoyed the role play, that you thought it was valuable. We're thrilled. We heard the feedback. We're going to try to do some more technique with the actual application as we move forward with Zap-TV. Speaking of moving forward, save the date. Next Zap-TV will be May 9th. You broke full screen with that? There we go. So 3 p.m. we will be back with Zap-TV next month. And we're out of time. Thank you for all of the interaction and all of the shout outs. For my co-host Wayne Weaver, I am Dan Elzer. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you.